Joe Exotic embraced his newfound fame from Tiger King, but in prison he says he's treated like an animal. From assault allegations to his ongoing battle with a serious illness, here's why Exotic's life behind bars is nothing short of tragic. While Joe Exotic was initially taken to Oklahoma's Grady County Jail by the time Season 1 of Tiger King wrapped up, he was later transferred to a federal prison, Federal Medical Center Butner in North Carolina. Regardless of his whereabouts, Exotic has made it clear that he's not happy with his circumstances. While speaking about prison life on Netflix's Tiger King, Exotic noted,
"They strip you butt naked, put you in a 6-by-8-foot concrete room with no windows, no blankets, no nothing."
He then added, "I've been stripped of my clothes, my rights, my identity, and my dignity. It's worse than you can ever treat an animal." That's surely why he soon began appealing his lengthy sentence. Joe Exotic has long claimed that he's innocent and that he's had every intention of being released. Exotic filed an appeal in federal court in March of 2020. He also filed a $94 million lawsuit against the US Fish and Wildlife Service and against Jeff Lowe, his former business partner. While he ultimately dropped the suit in August 2020, there's still one more thing. Exotic has long wanted a presidential pardon. He wrote on Facebook in March 2020, "The Trump administration must be made aware of the overreach, perjury, abuse of power, and the failure to uphold the oath of their position, which is truth and justice for all. I have been illegally charged with these crimes."
Is that Joe Exotic? That's Joe Exotic.
Though Exotic clearly remained upset about his circumstances, at this point, he was also supposedly enjoying the attention and support he'd attracted from celebrities like Cardi B. Following the viral popularity of Tiger King in March 2020, the docuseries co-directors and writers Eric Goode and Rebecca Chaiklin spoke to the Los Angeles Times about Joe Exotic's reaction to his newfound fame. Apparently, the Tiger King star couldn't have been happier with it, as well as with how the doc turned out. While noting that the Netflix star had been calling him regularly, Goode said he was absolutely thrilled. Chaiklin backed that up, saying, "You can hardly talk to him without him mentioning the amount of press he's getting. He's over the moon." When it was time for Donald Trump to release a list of presidential pardons in January 2021, Joe Exotic was ready. The Tiger King's friends had prepared a limo for him and waited outside the prison all day.
"We believe that we will be receiving the pardon today, and we'll go pick up the Tiger King."
However, no pardon came. Exotic furiously claimed on X, formerly known as Twitter, "I was too innocent and too gay to deserve a pardon from Trump. I only mattered to Don Jr. when he needed to make a comment about me to boost his social media post." He continued by accusing the Trumps of only giving last-minute pardons to their friends and business associates, rather than anyone who had actually been locked up unfairly. Still, Exotic's campaign to win his freedom continued as he swiftly turned his attention to President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Joe Exotic has been outspoken about how miserable his experience in prison has been from the start. In 2020, the Netflix star alleged that he had been sexually assaulted at Grady County Jail in Oklahoma. In a letter to Donald Trump Jr., which was later published by TMZ, he asked to be rescued from these conditions and apologized for his handwriting, explaining that his hands had been damaged during the alleged attack. Exotic claimed in the letter, "I have been sexually assaulted by jail staff, beat up and tied in a chair to the point the skin came off my arms." Law enforcement sources claimed to TMZ that the allegations were completely fabricated. One federal prison insider insisted that there was no such assault, while another source at the jail argued that it would have been caught on the surveillance cameras. However, in January 2023, Exotic opened up about the alleged assault again on the Lauren Interviews podcast, insisting that 8 guards had allegedly overpowered him. He claimed, "They beat the out of me. They tied me to a chair butt naked, put me in a shower for so long that I blacked out, and I woke up with skin off my arms from the straps." Although Joe Exotic went into prison happily coupled up with Dylan Passage, who had appeared in the Netflix documentary, they split in March 2021. Exotic wrote on Instagram at the time, "Dylan thinks having to sleep alone and not have me out there is so rough and hard to deal with to the point he has to leave me. All I ever wanted was to mean something to someone. Why is that so much to ask?"
"I'm not ashamed of who I am."
Passage later shared pictures of his new boyfriend John on Instagram. That August, Passage accused Exotic of emotional abuse and manipulation. He said on Instagram Live, "I started to realize I was another animal in a cage that Joe wanted to control that he could come to when he wanted to play." He further alleged that he wasn't allowed to see his family or friends during the course of the relationship. However, Passage also reflected on Exotic's generosity and reaffirmed his belief in Exotic's innocence, saying, "I hope and I pray that Joe gets out of prison because he doesn't deserve to be there. He doesn't deserve to suffer in prison, but I also do not deserve to suffer in a relationship where I'm constantly being belittled and torn down and have things held against me and over my head. After his divorce from Dylan Passage, Joe Exotic declared that he was going to find husband number 3 in an online contest called The Bachelor King. His website announced in July 2021, men over 18 years of age can fill out an application online to possibly be the next romance in Joe's new life. The website added that Exotic was on the hunt for someone to share his life with after he was released from prison. Exotic said in the website post, "I've been through hell in 3 years and I intend on making my new life something I've always dreamed of. I want to share this with someone great." Exotic reportedly received applications from around the world, but the winner was a young man from Arkansas named Seth. Although they couldn't meet in person, the pair spoke often over the phone and quickly formed a relationship. The Bachelor King contest seemed to be over, until a new man came into the picture. The Tiger King has never had a straightforward, conventional love life, and that didn't change once he went to prison. After running his online competition, Joe Exotic then fell for another convict in the same prison. In a letter published by TMZ in April 2022, Exotic explained that he had been with his new boyfriend John Graham for over a year and that they had gotten engaged in August 2021. He called Graham, who was reportedly interested in witchcraft and wanted to get married in an ancient forest, extremely romantic and caring. They were in the same unit and saw each other constantly before Graham was sent away. However, Exotic also clarified that they still spoke through letters and over the phone. In May 2021, Joe Exotic revealed that he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer and argued that he should be released from prison early due to this medical emergency. He told his fans on X, "My body is tired, I have lost a tremendous amount of weight, the mouth sores are out of control, I throw up more than I eat." He also explained that doctors had found a tumor below the ribs on his right side and would be performing a biopsy, as well as other medical procedures like a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. Exotic didn't hesitate to use this diagnosis as part of his Free Joe Exotic campaign, now focused on President Joe Biden. He wrote on X that he didn't want anyone's pity, adding that what he actually needed was for Biden to let him out on compassionate grounds. Claiming that the Department of Justice was just as full of corruption as local police, he argued, "President Biden needs to make this right and sign that pardon that Trump left behind, so I can go home and get proper medical care and proper food." That August, TMZ reported that Exotic might not have received that medical care, with attorney John M. Phillips stating that the prostate cancer could have spread to his pelvis and stomach already. Since he was first sentenced to 22 years for murder for hire and violating animal rights law in early 2020, Joe Exotic has publicly insisted that he would be freed as soon as he had a fair trial. In July 2021, a federal appeals court did look into his trial and found that he should have received a shorter sentence. The court ruled that Exotic's 2 attempts to hire a hit on Carol Baskin should have been judged as one conviction rather than separately, since they had the same aim. After the 3-judge panel reached this conclusion, another federal judge had to decide how long his sentence should really be. Exotic pleaded for a shorter term due to his prostate cancer diagnosis, alleging that he wasn't receiving proper medical treatment in prison. But Carol Baskin argued that she was still at risk, especially now that Exotic had an army of fans behind him. According to the Associated Press, Baskin said to the judge, "He continues to harbor intense feelings of ill will toward me." In the end, the judge reduced Exotic's sentence in January 2022 by only 1 year to 21 years in prison. His lawyers promised to appeal the decision.
At the end of all of this, I want the world to know that I'm innocent.
After being diagnosed with prostate cancer, Joe Exotic was moved to North Carolina's FMC Butner in late 2021 so that he could receive treatment for his prostate cancer. According to a letter from Exotic published by TMZ in February 2023, his doctor was afraid that it had spread to his bladder. He wrote of his disinterest in pursuing further treatment, saying, "I want to stay here and just let it take its course." He went on to claim that he might become an example of how corruption in the legal system could lead to medical needs being overlooked. Exotic wrote, "If I have to be the one to die innocent in here fighting for the truth, maybe people around the world will finally speak up for the truth for once. I could care less about dying." Earlier that month, Exotic had already seemed to be planning for the worst. He told TMZ of his funeral arrangement plans and revealed that he had asked for a "do not resuscitate" order in his will in case of a medical emergency. Expressing his frustration with his ongoing imprisonment, Exotic told the outlet, "There's so many of us in here that don't belong here. We should be out with our families, so I appreciate your support. Be my voice." If you or anyone you know has been a victim of sexual assault, help is available. Visit the Rape, Abuse and Incest National Network website or contact RAIN's National Helpline at 1-800-656-HOPE 4673.